Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything in between. Welcome to Walk Your World. Welcome to the channel. It's very nice to have you guys. Now, today I will be reviewing the infamous and probably one of the greatest series on Netflix right now, Stranger Things, created by the Duffer Brothers. Now, I know, I'm a little late to the party, so I'll be reviewing the series as a whole, which is going to be both parts 1 and 2. And don't worry, I won't spoil anything for you guys who haven't seen it. I know who you guys are. I'm the same way.
Now, if you don't already know anything about the show, it's about a boy named Will Byers who disappears in a small town where nothing really happens. His closest friends, Mike, Dustin, Lucas, his family, and the police chief are all trying to figure out just exactly what happened. Stranger Things looks and feels great. It seems like it's inspired by Stephen King's early work and Steven Spielberg's early films, and I mean that in the best way possible. From the first episode, I was hooked. I mean, the look, the style, and the appeal are all great. The hook of the show and what really got me into the series is a boy who goes missing. I mean, there was so much mystery behind his disappearance. I had to know what would happen to him. Also, his mother Joyce, played by Winona Ryder, trying everything she can to find him was really entertaining.
Another very interesting character,
The police chief, played by David Harper, who grows more upset and determined the further he goes into the investigation of Will's disappearance. He fears that a local government agency might be involved. The downward spiral of his character, for me, was one of the biggest hooks. I wanted to see where his character was going. It was really interesting to see his character progress and change so much in only 8 episodes. I really enjoyed his character. I also loved how they handled his backstory, triggering these flashbacks with visual images that reminded him of his daughter. Another fantastic part of the show had to be the 3 young boys, Mike, played by Finn Wolfhard, Lucas, played by Cable McLaughlin, and Dustin, played by Gaten Matarazzo, who goes searching for their best friend Will, played by Noah Snaps. I love these kids. They were absolute gold. They were so funny and likable. There was no attempt to censor them. They felt and sounded like kids, and it was great. There's also the older brother of Will Byers, Jonathan Byers, played by Charlie Heaton. He was excellent. He's a very reserved character and is considered a loner and a bit of a weirdo, but nevertheless, he is a great addition to the cast. The mother, Joyce, was a blast, funny faces and all. Her character was great. All these unexplained things are happening around her, and she starts becoming increasingly hysterical. And the only thing keeping her going is the thought that her son might still be alive. She kind of goes insane, or at least to others she does. There's also this strange and deadly creature that's going around the town, and only a few people are seeing it and aware of its existence. I don't know about you, but the creature reminds me of the Xenomorph from the Alien series, and I mean that in the best way possible. Now for one of the most interesting and probably everyone's favorite character, Eleven, played by Millie Bobby Brown. She's a great character with such an interesting backstory. We learn through flashbacks that experiments were done to her. She also possesses the power of telekinesis. She's probably one of the most intriguing characters on the show. It was great seeing her interact with all the other characters. She plays this role perfectly. She's so real and just a badass at times. Now for Season 2. In this season, Will Byers is safely returned home, but still feels a connection to the Upside Down. He has these strange episodes where he's in the Upside Down and starts being chased by this dark entity. His mom is keeping a close eye on him. I can see why. And the police chief is keeping the existence of young Eleven a secret and has her hidden away. Now, while all this is happening, the Upside Down and the creatures that reside in it threaten to take over Hawkins. I really enjoyed Season 2. I think it was a good follow-up to the first season. It was a slow-moving season, I will admit. It took a couple of episodes to kind of get the ball rolling, so to speak, but it builds it up very well. Now, there are a couple of new characters in this season, like Max, her brother Billy, and Lucas and Dustin's family are also introduced. Max, played by Sadie Sink, is introduced as the Doug Dick Champ. Her performance was good, and she's a good addition to the team. However, I felt that she was only there to create drama between the boys. Don't get me wrong, I liked her character, but I wish they added a little more to the story. Like, for instance, in the beginning when she was introduced with her brother, she was like, his brother was saying to her, "We're here because of you, don't ever forget that," and he seemed angry at her, and that was very interesting. There was a lot of mystery behind that. I even thought that maybe she had some powers of her own, and that was, so interesting, but, they went a different route, and I was okay with that one too. I did enjoy Joyce in this season. As she starts to find out what's happening with her son, she's terrified. Once again, Will is threatened by a creature from the Upside Down. This leads Joyce to do some really harsh and awful but necessary decisions to her son Will, which got really intense in the last few episodes, which I thought was really great. Now, one thing I really did enjoy was episode 7, and I know a lot of people feel the same way. It just slows the flow and stops the momentum of the main story. I did enjoy Eleven's performance in this episode. As always, she gives it her all. She was great. That was the really only thing I enjoyed in that episode. I like the concept of 8, and the fact that there might be more experiments out there, and her powers were pretty cool too. But maybe if the episode was written differently, or they could have elaborated more on Eleven's past, I think that could have worked. Other than that, Season 2 was pretty good. There was a lot of suspense and relevant character drama. It did a really good job at developing and shifting character relationships, like Steve and Dustin, and Hopper and Joyce spending more time together. Also, Bob, the boyfriend of Joyce, was wonderful. Their relationship was sweet, and I'm really going to miss him. Going back to Steve Harrington, I really like what they did with him. Even in Season 1, I thought he was going to turn out to be the asshole boyfriend cliché, but they took a 180 with his character, and I think that was the right choice. He also became the best babysitter ever in this season and had a great relationship with Dustin. I love that scene with the train tracks, plus it was a beautiful shot. Overall, it's a very entertaining show with great characters, really good writing, excellent cinematography, and originality. I can't wait to see what they have in store for us next.